Are you a young and ambitious entrepreneur bursting with ideas and a burning desire to make them a reality? Are you between the ages of 18 to 35 and ready to take your startup to the next level? Then the Youth Startup Academy Uganda is the perfect opportunity for you. This incredible program is a joint collaboration between Hive Colab, International Trade Center, Korea SME, Startups Agency and NITA Uganda, bringing together local and international experts to help you unlock your full potential. If selected, you'll have access to state-of-the-art Makerspace facilities, mobile app testing and computer labs, co-working spaces, and the chance to network with other young entrepreneurs from around the region and the world. Plus, you'll have direct linkages to investors, giving you the chance to secure the funding you need to make your dreams a reality. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply now for the Youth Startup Academy Uganda Cohort 2 intake. Visit www.ysa.hivecolab.org, email ysau@hivecolab.com or call 0778 345 949 to learn more and apply today. Are you a young and ambitious entrepreneur bursting with ideas and a burning desire to make them a reality? Are you between the ages of 18 to 35 and ready to take your startup to the next level? Then the Youth Startup Academy Uganda is the perfect opportunity for you. This incredible program is a joint collaboration between Hive Colab, International Trade Center, Korea SME, Startups Agency and NITA Uganda, bringing together local and international experts to help you unlock your full potential. If selected, you'll have access to state-of-the-art Makerspace facilities, mobile app testing and computer labs, co-working spaces, and the chance to network with other young entrepreneurs from around the region and the world. Plus, you'll have direct linkages to investors, giving you the chance to secure the funding you need to make your dreams a reality. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply now for the Youth Startup Academy Uganda Cohort 2 intake. Visit www.ysa.hivecolab.org, email ysau@hivecolab.com or call 0778 345 949 to learn more and apply today. Are you a young and ambitious entrepreneur bursting with ideas and a burning desire to make them a reality? Are you between the ages of 18 to 35 and ready to take your startup to the next level? Then the Youth Startup Academy Uganda is the perfect opportunity for you. This incredible program is a joint collaboration between Hive Colab, International Trade Center, Korea SME, Startups Agency and NITA Uganda, bringing together local and international experts to help you unlock your full potential. If selected, you'll have access to state-of-the-art Makerspace facilities, mobile app testing and computer labs, co-working spaces, and the chance to network with other young entrepreneurs from around the region and the world. Plus, you'll have direct linkages to investors, giving you the chance to secure the funding you need to make your dreams a reality. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply now for the Youth Startup Academy Uganda Cohort 2 intake. Visit www.ysa.hivecolab.org, email ysau@hivecolab.com or call 0778 345 949 to learn more and apply today. Are you a young and ambitious entrepreneur bursting with ideas and a burning desire to make them a reality? Are you between the ages of 18 to 35 and ready to take your startup to the next level? Then the Youth Startup Academy Uganda is the perfect opportunity for you. This incredible program is a joint collaboration between Hive Colab, International Trade Center, Korea SME, Startups Agency and NITA Uganda, bringing together local and international experts to help you unlock your full potential. If selected, you'll have access to state-of-the-art Makerspace facilities, mobile app testing and computer labs, co-working spaces, and the chance to network with other young entrepreneurs from around the region and the world. Plus, you'll have direct linkages to investors, giving you the chance to secure the funding you need to make your dreams a reality. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply now for the Youth Startup Academy Uganda Cohort 2 intake. Visit www.ysa.hivecolab.org, email ysau@hivecolab.com or call 0778 345 949 to learn more and apply today. Are you a young and ambitious entrepreneur bursting with ideas and a burning desire to make them a reality? Are you between the ages of 18 to 35 and ready to take your startup to the next level?
Right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert, and we will be starting just about now. Before we start this webinar, I just wanted to give us a few housekeeping rules just to ensure that we have a very, very smooth session this afternoon. So one, just ensure that your microphone is kept on mute at all times, so that we do not have any sort of interferences from background sound and background noise. Two, this webinar is being recorded. So just to let you know that this is going to be recorded and it will be shared as well after this session, especially those who are not able to make it today. And then last but not least, you will have an opportunity to ask all the questions you have towards the end of the webinar. We have a section for Q&A. So as the webinar goes on, if you have, as the info session goes on, if you have a question that pops up, just feel free to write it down or drop it in the chat. And then we'll have that session during the Q&A where we'll be able to answer all those questions. So just keep them towards the end, and during the Q&A, all those questions will be addressed. So to get us started and to welcome us to this space, I'm going to invite Joanna to just go ahead and unmute herself, and then just welcome us into this Rwazi Info session, and then we'll take it from there. Joanna, over to you.
Hi everyone, you're very welcome to this info session. Thank you so much, Robert, for the opportunity to partner with you in bringing this opportunity to young people. Rwazi is a company that's in the market intelligence business. We help people decide with data. We help organizations get on ground data to make actionable decisions for growth in the global south, in Africa, in Asia, and South America. So in all the emerging markets, we are in there providing organizations that want to scale with data. This also gives us the opportunity to avail gigs to young people to collect on-ground data in the places where they live, work, and generally exist. So in case you are a young person here who is interested in collecting on-ground data and earning from it, just telling us what is around you, please do check out Rwazi, sign up, and join our platforms. This webinar is brought to us by the Youth Startup Academy Uganda, and we have invited a lot of people in our community. We've invited people from affiliate communities of Rwazi so that young people can know about this opportunity to get trained in entrepreneurship and be fully funded as they do that. So please get out your notebooks, be ready to get a wealth of information from Robert and the team at YSA. And yeah, we're ready to begin. You're welcome, everyone. Over to you, YSA team.
Thank you very much, John, and for just giving us a bit of an overview of what Rwazi is and what it is that you do. So maybe to get us started, we'll just do a quick run of introductions from the YSA team as well. So maybe I can start, and then I'll hand it over to my colleague Rita, who will introduce herself, and then dive right into the info session by giving us a quick presentation about what the YSAU is. So my name is Robert Bob Okello, and on this particular initiative, I serve as the Associate National Coordinator for the Youth Startup Academy, alongside an incredible lady, Rita Nyenzi, who is going to be introducing herself, and together with the local team at the Hive Colab. So I'm just going to keep it at that, and Rita will introduce herself and give us a bit more detail about the Youth Startup Academy, our implementing partners, and much more. Rita, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rob. I'm happy to be here. So like mentioned by Robert, my name is Rita Njenzi. I'm the National Coordinator for the Youth Startup Academy Uganda, representing the International Trade Center, which is the ITC. And we're very glad to sort of be part of this partnership to bring the opportunity of our second cohort intake to the Rwazi community. So yes, I think we can just jump right in for me to sort of give a background context on the YSAU before we go into the details of the call. So what is the Youth Startup Academy Uganda? Basically, the Youth Startup Academy Uganda, which is the YSAU, builds off of the success of the same program which in Korea, which is the YSA Korea, that is the most successful entrepreneurship program in Korea, that has really achieved very many milestones. And so the YSA Uganda is the first overseas hub of the YSA, and hopes to sort of mimic some of the similar successes that the YSA Korea has been able to achieve. Some of those successes include the rise or the birth of 2 unicorn companies out of the YSA. And for those of us who know, a unicorn is a startup that has a valuation of over $1 billion. And in particular, the 2 unicorns that have come out of the YSA Korea have been tossed by Viva Republica, which is a fintech, as well as Zigbang, which is a property tech. Now, TOS has a corporate valuation of over $6 billion, which is incredible, with Zigbang just as incredible, with just over $1 billion. Their sales volume, as you see here, from over $90 million to just over $32 million. And the number of jobs created, which is ultimately one of the really a core focus of the YSA. We see TOS coming in at over 300 jobs created, and Zigbang with over 200 jobs created. So these are just some of the alumni that have gone through the YSA program and gone on to become very successful. But we have a bigger alumni of over close to 5,900 startups supported from various sectors. And so joining the YSA Uganda means becoming part of that global cohort. These startups have cumulatively generated sales of close to $40 billion, which is incredible. And you can imagine the type of impact and the type of contribution that gives to a country's economy. And so the YSA Uganda hopes to follow in the footsteps of some of these incredible milestones that the YSA Korea has achieved. And now when we speak about the beyond that, of course, close to 18,000 jobs have been created through the YSA Korea. I don't know how I could forget that, because this is really one of those noteworthy achievements that you can't go without saying. So what gave birth to the YSA Uganda? So the YSA Uganda is a joint initiative between the International Trade Center, COSME, which is the Korea SME and Startups Agency, NITA Uganda, which is our local government partner, and then of course Hive Colab, which is our local implementing partner and is the home of the YSA Uganda. So together these partners form the YSAU. Now, we had an incredible launch of the YSAU last year, June, and this is where we brought together various stakeholders to really officially open the YSA Uganda, and it was a fun, really vibrant, interactive session that officially kicked off our journey as the YSAU. Now, we've got a very ambitious goal, and our goal is really to support 1,000 young entrepreneurs across Uganda. This is a goal that we're very excited and are very hopeful about, and we believe that, you know, it's one that we will achieve, and this support will be sort of achieved through 4 cohorts. We are currently wrapping up our first cohort that will graduate next month in March. And today we're here particularly to speak about the second cohort intake. So between now and December 2024, we will support 4 cohorts and more, in particular, 1,000 young entrepreneurs. So you must be wondering, how can you get involved? How do you plug in and become a part of this amazing program? Well, firstly, you can apply for the second cohort intake, which is currently open. If you are a founder, you have a startup in any of the sectors that I will mention coming up, feel free to just come in, apply, and possibly get recruited into our cohort. You can also spread the word if you know of people within your networks, within your community that could benefit from this opportunity, then please go ahead and share the opportunity and encourage them to apply. Lastly, if you have a special set of skills that you would like to share with these young entrepreneurs and you feel like you'd like to become a mentor, then you can also reach out to us and look at joining our mentor database. So those are some of the ways that you can get plugged in and support us in what we are doing. So now we come to really the purpose of today, which is the call for applications for our second cohort. What we're looking for is startups in these 3 categories. So if you're either at ideation or validation, if you are at product market fit, or if you are at growth stage. And of course, I will break down what each of these groups mean, but if you fall into any one of these categories, then you absolutely qualify to apply for the second cohort intake. Now, just to give you a breakdown of what these mean. So if you are in ideation and validation, the assumption is that you have an annual revenue of between 0 to 15,000, and I'm talking about dollars, US dollars. If you are at product market fit, ideally you make between 15 to 75K annual revenue. And if you're at scale up or growth stage, then you make 75,000 or above in annual revenue. And this will then inform the type of support that you will receive from the YSAU. So when you go to the application, which Rob will talk you through the application process, so what to expect and how to best apply to increase your chances of a successful application. This is sort of the tiered approach that we take in the applications. So now, if you're wondering, why should you apply? Why do you want to be a part of the academy? There are a number of benefits, but I'll just run through some of them. Firstly, we are currently setting up a fully equipped Makerspace facilities to support our cohort. So if you get accepted into our program, you will then have access to the Makerspace facilities. We're also setting up mobile app testing and computer labs, which will be available to the YSA cohort as well. You also get access to co-working space for the duration of your cohort. Beyond that, you sort of get that hands-on, really tailored support from our wide range of coaches, expert coaches, and these are local and international expert coaches. Beyond that, we also take our startups to international markets as well as regional markets. And this is to increase your exposure to various markets, to various ecosystems, to investors and so forth. And so being part of the YSA means having the opportunity to sort of go with us as we explore these various opportunities that exist. And then we also provide linkages to investors and direct investment into startups based on their area of need. And so these are just some of the reasons why you would want to become a part of the YSAU and join this amazing global cohort that is doing great things in their respective sectors. We also encourage you to be on the lookout for some of the great events that we organize, which are open to the general ecosystem. We've had wonderful founders from all over the world come in to visit us and speak to our community, from Mateo Risi, who's really a fintech expert, to Sohi, who is the founder of Kijami Table and really speaks to the F&B sector and social ventures, and of course, many more that are to come. So just stay on the lookout, and you can plug into these events as well to further benefit from the YSAU. So I think that just gives some context on that, and of course, some of the amazing things that are coming up. But I'll now hand over to Robert, who I'm sure is going to do a marvelous job going forward and talk you through the application process. So over to you, Rob.
Thank you so much, Rita, for giving us that elaborate overview of the YSA and what it has in stock for the entrepreneurs here today. So let's quickly transition and just look at the application process. And what I'm going to do just now is actually take us to the application link itself. As you can see on your screen, for you to apply, you simply go to bit.ly/YSAU cohort 2. But right after this particular info session, you will also receive an email with this link so you can actually apply right away. So let's go ahead and look at the application form itself just very, very quickly. And the goal is just give you a feel of what the process looks like, and then just encourage you to get started. It's a very, very short application. It takes about 7 to 15 minutes only to complete. And so we want it to be really, really straight to the point. We understand that as an entrepreneur, your time is very valuable. And so we wanted to ensure that we get it as straight to the point as possible. Now, when you click on that let's get started button, the next screen you're going to see in the application process is just going to ask you to download this pitch deck template and complete it. That's of course in case you don't already have a pitch deck for your business. And in case you're wondering what a pitch deck is, a pitch deck is simply presentation that gives an overview of what your business or your startup intends to do. So you'll cover things like what the problem you're solving is, what is your solution, what makes your problem, your solution unique, what does the competitive landscape look like, how big is the market size. So all these things are actually covered here in the pitch deck. But maybe to just give us a feel of what that is, let me just go ahead and open it so that you can actually see what this looks like. And I'm just going to show you how to go ahead and download this. Okay. So when you click on that link, you'll be able to see this page. This is sort of a preset pitch deck template. Okay. And as you can see, there are about maybe 13 slides that you just adopt this and design it as you so please, make it look appealing and all that. But what's important here is the content. Okay. So company purpose, in just a very brief sentence or two, explain to us why you exist. Okay. So at the beginning of this webinar, Joanna shared with us what Rwazi is and what Rwazi does, right? I can remember something to do with data and helping businesses collecting local insights about market. Okay, so really give us a quick overview of what your business does or intends to do. Okay, very top level. And then the next item on this particular slide deck is going to be the problem. Okay, so give us a statement of the problem that you're trying to solve. And where possible, you can use some picture or an image to really help paint literally a picture of what the problem you're solving is. Okay, so just walk us briefly through the problem that you're trying to solve. And then after the problem, we will then now request you to share with us what your solution to that problem is. Okay, so if let's say you are solving the problem of, poor nutrition, right? What is your solution to that problem? So maybe you provide affordable, nutritious snack, for Ugandan households, okay? That's just an example, okay? But the goal here is just help us understand what your solution to the problem that you stated earlier on is, okay? And once you do that, we will then ask you to just maybe help us understand why is now the best time to solve that problem. So here you can use some sort of data or statistics that really proves that the timing is perfect, that this is truly a problem that deserves to be addressed right now, okay? So here you're just kind of giving a sense of urgency and really, really bringing the point home that, listen, there is an opportunity now, and this is the best time to approach it, okay? After that, you'll now tell us about your product. So if your solution was providing, nutritious snack for Ugandan households, now here you can tell us a bit about your product. Or if you offer if you offer a service, here is where you tell us about your services. So maybe you sell, I don't know, maybe mukene or whatever the product is that aligns to your solution, right? What's the tangible product or service, okay, that you actually offer? You'll tell us in this particular slide. This is product or service, okay? And then in the market size, here are the three things that we want you to be able to communicate. That's what we call the total addressable market, or known as the TAM, okay? The total addressable market is the largest possible size of the people who could possibly buy your product or your service, okay? That is what the total addressable market is. So if you're starting a business in Uganda, maybe your goal is to eventually reach out the entire Africa, okay? So all the customers you have, or all the potential customers you have on the African continent will then be your total addressable market. And then the sum, or the serviceable addressable market, is basically a smaller subsection of your total addressable market. So if you're targeting the whole of Africa, your sum of the serviceable available market would be East Africa, okay? And then your sum serviceable obtainable market. This is the closest sort of market, the low-hanging fruits, the people that when you launch, you'll start selling to tomorrow, okay? This could now then be Uganda. So as you can see, it starts from a smaller one, which is the serviceable obtainable market, say Uganda, and then it goes to a slightly bigger one, medium size, which is like the whole of East Africa, and then the whole of Africa becomes the TAM. So we want you to break it down that way. Or it could be a service where you start from your own particular, district in Uganda, and then you go to the whole region, and then you go to the whole country, okay? That is sort of the breakdown that we'd like to see here. And then you tell us how many customers are in each of those levels, okay? That is what we mean by the market size here. So how big is the market for your solution or your product? And then a very important slide is, of course, the team. Here, just give us, the core management team or the key people on your team. Give us a small picture of them, their name, their title, and maybe any relevant experience that they bring to the team, okay? And why they're the right people for you to work with to deliver this solution to the market. And then business model. The business model is simply how you make money. So here, you tell us very quickly, how do you make money? Is it subscription? Do you charge commission? Do you just, sell a product and earn margins? As simple as that, okay? How do you make money? That's what we want to see on the slide of the business model. And then traction. Traction is simply, what have you done so far, okay? So show us some proof that you have done something. So maybe you're already beyond an idea, you already have some customers, there's some customer testimonials, you maybe have already lined up some customers in the pipeline who are just waiting to buy your service or product once you launch. All those are kinds of tractions. Maybe you have gotten certification for, let's say, UNBS, if you're selling a particular product, right? All those sort of milestones are what count for traction, okay? And then after that, just give us a bit of financials. Here, you just do some projection and say, okay, if you launch this year, in year one, this is how much we hope to make. In year two, this is how much we hope to make. So just do a financial projection for about, 3 to 5 years, okay? To give a a potential investor, whoever is looking at your pitch deck, you know, a picture of what your future financial goals look like in terms of how much money or revenue you plan to generate, okay? And then another key slide we want to see here, and the second last slide really, is competition, okay? Who else is doing this thing that you're doing? Who else is offering the services or the products, or perhaps solving this problem like you are? And here you want to highlight what makes you unique from the rest of your competition. In other words, why should someone choose you over your competitors, okay? That is what the competition slide is really all about. And last but not least, you want to give us your fundraising ask. In other words, what is it that you want, okay? To bring this idea to life, to take your business to the next level, what do you need from the investor, a potential investor, okay? So here you specify, maybe you'll say, okay, I need 10,000 US dollars, okay, to do ABC. And then you could also give in return for what? So if you're asking for $10,000, for example, maybe you're giving equity, or maybe it's a form of debt, or you're looking for grant. So just specify, okay? But here we want to see what is it that you want in terms of finances, fundraising, and what do you want to give in return for that? And what are you going to do with that money? That is it, okay? So that is really what the pitch deck is. So once you have this, you're basically ready to go back to the other side of the application and get started immediately, okay? So you'll come back here and then say proceed, okay? So when you come, we'll just ask you a few questions about yourself, you know, what is your name, okay? What is your first name? So let me just say my first name is Robert. You know, I'm just going to show you how quickly it is. And you can see the application is very adaptive, it keeps learning your name and all that, okay? What's your last name? Let me just use that. And then email address, okay? So let's say my email address for my company, I'm going to use my company email address. So my company is XYZ. Now, this is really important. Make sure that you enter a correct and working email address that you regularly check, because all the communications are going to be via email. And so in the past, we have had situations where people enter the wrong email addresses and they missed out on all the communications. So do not make that mistake. Before you say okay, verify that you have written the correct email address and then click okay, right? We'll ask you for your gender, you just provide that. We'll ask you if you've applied to the YSAU before. If you haven't, you'll say no, and then you proceed. And we'll ask you for your nationality. If you're Ugandan, say so, and you proceed. And then we'll ask you for your date of birth. So let's say I was born on the 1st of January, 1990, for example. Now, here, make sure you enter the date that is reflected on your national ID, okay? Just to be on the, to ensure that if you enter the wrong date, basically, you know, the application may reject you because it's targeting a particular age group. So basing on the date of birth you enter here, it's going to calculate your age and then determine whether you are eligible to apply or not. So it's important to enter the correct date of birth here, okay? So here, we'll ask you for your phone number. So just enter your phone number the way you see it here. So let's say this is my phone number, and then I'll say, okay. And if you have a number that's on WhatsApp, we prefer you enter your WhatsApp number here, because at some point, we might want to reach you via WhatsApp. So we'll just ask you to confirm whether the number is on WhatsApp. If it is, I just say yes, and then we'll proceed on. So that's it about your personal information and just getting to know you. After that, we now want to move to your business. So we're going to ask you for the name of your business, okay? So my business is XYZ Limited, okay? And then they'll ask me which part of the country, which part of Uganda is XYZ Limited located. So here you'll just specify maybe your business is registered or located in the eastern part of the country or wherever. This is because we plan to do regional cohorts, okay? So we want to make sure that we understand the distribution of companies basing on this. So I'm just gonna say mine is in the eastern, and then they'll ask me which state. So I'm going to say Mbale, okay? Which district? I'm going to say Mbale, that's in eastern Uganda. And then they'll ask me whether my business is registered with URSP. Now, If you are registered, simply say yes. If you are not, say no. Why do we ask this? We actually intend to help those businesses that are not registered to register. So we have a particular program to help you register by actually subsidizing the cost of registration with URSP. So this really helps us to know whether you need that service or not. That's the reason we're asking for it here. So I'm going to say we are not registered, so that we can benefit from that registration service that the Youth Startup Academy is offering. And then now going back to what Rita was mentioning in terms of the different tracks, once you get to this point, we're going to ask you at what stage you are at by asking you to select which of these three categories or descriptions best describe your business, okay? So in this case, I'm going to say we are at the ideation and validation stage or the build-up stage because we just started, for example, okay? Now, once I choose that, every question after that is going to be customized to that particular level, okay? So you can see here that my business is already now categorized under the build-up section, okay? Or ideation and validation. So I'll proceed. And then they'll ask me for how long I've worked on the idea. This is a drop-down. And so you simply click on this arrow and you'll be able to select for how long you've worked on this. I'll say less than a year. We are still very new. They'll ask me if I have co-founders. In other words, who else are you working on this business or this idea with? In my case, I'll say I have a co-founder. They'll ask me to list how many co-founders I have. So again, I'm just going to select, I'll say I have one other co-founder, not including myself, okay? And they'll ask me, who are my co-founders? I'll say my co-founder is Rita, okay? And then I'll say enter. Now here, we just want you to describe your problem. Remember, you already have this in your pitch deck. So just in one tweet, in less than 480 characters or not more, just give us an idea of the problem that you solve. So let me assume that we solve the problem of nutrition, right? That's what I'm going to enter here. So here, just in one sentence, in one tweet, describe the problem that you're solving, okay? So just describe your problem, okay? The problem that your business solves, not your problem per se, the problem that your business is solving, okay? So just make sure you do that in less than 480 characters. The next step is for you to describe your solution as well, okay? So how do you solve the problem that you stated above? Again, here in less than 480 characters, so in one tweet, just give us a quick solution, okay? We offer ABCD that solves this problem for ABC customer by doing ABC, as simple as that, okay? And then you proceed. When you get to this point, we're going to ask you what progress you've made to date. So just choose whichever applies. I'm going to say we already have a functional prototype. Perhaps you have active users. So you will basically select all that apply. We have some active users. We don't have paying customers. We are still pre-revenue. So you can select all that apply here and say, okay. After that, we'll ask you if you've raised any investment up to this point. If you haven't, just say yes. If you have, choose what kind of investment or funds you've gotten. Maybe the grants only, maybe grants and debts, maybe equity, maybe all of the above. So choose whatever applies. In this case, I'll say we have not yet. And then we proceed. They'll ask me if I've attended any accelerator or incubator program since starting my entrepreneurial journey. In this case, I would say I have attended some programs in the past. And so that's what you're going to choose. And what we mean by an accelerator, this is any sort of entrepreneurship training program is what we need you to be able to tell us if you've done. So in this case, if I say yes, I'm going to be asked to list any of those programs. So for example, maybe I did attend the High Innovator, okay, by let's say Outbox, or perhaps I've also attended the, let's say, All Farms Accelerator by Hive, Colab. So any sort of accelerator or incubator program that you have attended, if you have attended any, just list them here. The reason for this is to ensure that we understand the background you have and see whether this program is going to offer you value or not. We don't want to replicate and duplicate what you already know in the YSA program. That's why this information is quite valuable for us to ensure that we serve you better, okay? So just, if you have attended any, feel free to list them here as well, okay? After that, you're pretty much done. You now simply have to upload the pitch deck that you already worked on. So you go and find wherever your pitch deck is, and then you'll upload it. Now, I chose that because I wanted to show you this. The file size limit is 10 MBs, okay? So make sure that your file is not bigger than 10 MBs. So let me look for my pitch deck here. My pitch deck is here, and then I'm going to open. So it's going to upload, and once it uploads, you'll simply hit submit. And that is it. You will have successfully applied to the Youth Startup Academy. Voila, so my pitch deck has already uploaded, and I can see it here. I'm just simply going to hit submit. Boom. Once you see the screen that says you're off to phenomenal start, it means we have successfully received your pitch deck. And therefore, you can simply sit back tight and wait for communication from the YSAU team about the next steps, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. The YSA application process, short, simple, straight to the point. So once you see this screen once again, it means you're done. And we encourage you within these next few days to also ensure that you can share this opportunity with other friends, other entrepreneurs in your network who could benefit immensely from the Youth Startup Academy. So that really brings us to the end of the application process. And now we are going to open up for the Q&A so that we can then get to answer any questions that you may have at this point. Thank you very much. And I'm going to hand us back to our moderator, Joanna, to basically take us through the Q&A session. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Robert. There are actually already some questions in the chat box that you could elaborate a bit on. Please, anyone, if you have questions, this is the time to put up your hand and let us know what you're wondering about. So Robert, I think you could first handle some of the questions in the chat box. They have been touched on, but you could give a further elaboration, and then we can go from there.
All right, cool. So I see Rita has responded to quite a few of the questions in the chat. Someone was asking whether the slides are going to be shared. Yes, indeed. As Rita has mentioned, the recording of the webinar will be shared, and you will also get an email with the link to apply just after this webinar. Check your email and you'll have received the link to apply as well. Okay, so an email will be sent and the recordings will be made available as well. A YouTube link will be made available where you can rewatch and share with your friends who are not able to join today. Okay, how about a business that you just want to start? Yes, indeed, as Rita has mentioned, that falls under the ideation and validations phase, so you can still apply, okay? And if your startup has more than one product, yes, you can have more than one product offering, but you're applying as one company, as one startup, okay? And so under your startup, you can have multiple products. That is not a problem, okay? Then let's see, it applies independently for each product. No, you don't have to apply independently for each product. You just have to apply for your startup, like the name of the company, okay? So under your company, all those products are going to be taken care of, okay? So you don't have to apply for each product. Just apply as a single unit or a startup, and then under that, you'll have all your products taken care of, okay? So I hope that answers the questions that we have in the chat at this point. So if you have any other questions, just raise up your hand and you'll unmute yourself and then ask it away.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
James speaking. I'm sorry, I got in a little bit late, and some part of it already was discussed, and I don't know if I'll answer, like maybe ask it well, or maybe it has been shared already. I asked the other question of what of a business that you just want to start. Sometimes you might be looking at maybe starting something, but where to maybe find resources and all this may become so difficult for you. But you might be having the ideas in your mind and all this, and in person, been having an idea of opening up a business for myself and the family as well. But I was being limited so much by resources, and when I learned about the opportunity, I had to thought of it to have myself be in this session. And my question is, how about the type of business, because I didn't hear it, and that is why I said I got in a little bit late. The type of business, do you look at maybe a certain category, or it's general, any kind of business? Like in specific, I would like to, I work in the tourism industry, so I would like to start a business that is in the tourism industry, which only not benefits me, but it benefits a nation, as Uganda as a nation, and because the tourists that comes in, they generate income and they generate money to the governments. So is that kind of business worth applying for in that in this maybe opportunities? So just help me so that I know what next to do. And I got a link yesterday to be applying, and I used that link, and I had already submitted something in the through that link, and all those you've been saying in the application, I went through them. But in that link, after applying them, I was told of meeting for today, and I don't know if I do, I will have to reapply, or that those details I've provided will now be used. So maybe you just clarify. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James, for this question. So maybe to begin with the first one, yes, I think I answered the first one regarding the level. You're saying you're just at idea stage, and that is completely fine. You will choose the ideation and validation stage, so you are most welcome to apply. In terms of the sectors and the types of business, the Youth Startup Academy is sector agnostic, which means that we are not limiting ourselves to any particular sector. So whether you're in tourism, whether you're in tech, whether you are in agriculture, whatever the sector you're in, as long as you have a viable business idea or a viable business, a startup that is running, you are most welcome to apply. Now, regarding your last question, or perhaps clarification, it's the link you got was to register for this webinar, I believe. And I think after registering, you got the link to join today. However, the application link is a little bit different. So what you saw me walking you through, that is what you're going to do, okay? So once you do that, then that is the official application. So you will receive another email after this session that will include the link to the application form that I just walked you through. And then once you fill that application and you upload your pitch deck and successfully submit it, then you will have applied for the Youth Startup Academy. So I hope this gives you more clarity on the process for applying, and also about the different sectors that are welcome. So all sectors are welcome to apply. Whatever stage, just make sure in the application you select the correct stage that you're at. Your ideation and validation, in other words, you just have an idea and just getting started, choose ideation and validation. If you already have something going on with revenues of about $15,000 a year, you will then choose the second stage, which is product market fit. If your revenue is above $75,000 US a year, then you will choose growth or the scale up, which is the last or the third stage. Okay, so that is really it about the different stages of the application, or perhaps the categories and the tracks that you can apply to. Thank you. I hope that was clear enough for you, James, and thank you for very good questions.
Yes, Robert, thank you so much for that answer. Another question that comes up is, what is the profile of the people that succeeded in the first cohort? Maybe if it's okay to share some of their information, sort of as mentors for a good application, like, because I'm sure a lot of people applied, those people who made it through, what made them stand out? Yeah.
That's a very, very good question. I wonder if Peter could comment on that. If we just sort of the typical profile of some of the startup founders that we had in cohort 1, especially those who made it through to stage 3 as well. Rita, you want to comment on that briefly?
Okay, sure. So I think really when it comes to the application is to try and be as clear as possible, so as less complicated as possible. So clearly lay out what is the problem that you are addressing, what is the size of the problem, and then a very simple description of what the solution is. So my advice would be really to keep it as simple and as less complicated as possible. Follow the guidelines in the template. You don't need to have a perfect submission. I think that's something people worry about, because the Academy is here to support you to sort of grow your solution and to build on your solution. But before you a good understanding of what it is that you do. So yeah, basically lay out the problem as clearly as possible, your solution. If you have any team that you're working with, follow the guidelines in the template. That would really be my best advice before getting into the program.
Thank you.
I just wanted to highlight some alumni, right? So we have, for example, Sandra, who is the founder of ShareCard. And I think she offers a platform that allows for organizations to be able to monitor and basically do a lot of M&E data, for example. Another entrepreneur we have had was Regina Nantege from Impact Nutrition. So these are some of the, very, very interesting entrepreneurs that, have been a part of the previous cohort. Plus many, many more. Some of the names, the likes of Fampo and Yunga Technologies. There have been several of those entrepreneurs who have been part of this first cohort. So yeah, I hope this gives you a bit of idea of the kind of people you could reach out to if you needed some guidance. We have the likes of MScan, for example, that is really focusing on maternal care and all that. So yeah, these are some of the founders that we have heard and examples of some success stories that we have heard in the past. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Robert. What happens in your alumni network? So say an entrepreneur here has made it and succeeded in getting into the cohort, go through all the stages. What does it look like for them after the cohort?
Yes, that's a very good question, actually. So as Rita mentioned, our first cohort will be graduating in March. And after that, they will officially join our alumni network and become part of the global network of alumni that Rita mentioned earlier on, right? But beyond that, we'll be having several networking events, for example, several activities that involve, meeting investors and so much other sort of engagement that offer more value for the alumni that part of that have gone through this program. will, part of the international exhibitions and travel opportunities are also available to our alumni. So for example, I think for this first cohort, most of the activities they'll be doing is going to be actually after they've completed, right? And so there's going to be several alumni support activities that will be available for our members. So I think that is really some of the things that the alumni can look out for once they get to that point. But yeah, a very supportive community locally and internationally. A lot of people, mentors that are really, really rooting for you to succeed and ensure that you grow your business. A lot of opportunities for expansion and international exposure will be shared with our alumni and so much more. So yeah, it's a very exciting community to become a part of. But of course, the first step is to apply, go through the program, and then you can become an alumni. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robert. The final question that comes up is, what is the response time after someone has applied and they are, waiting to hear back? How do they know they've made it, and how quickly?
That's a very good question, and it's a great question to sort of wrap this session with as well. So in terms of the timeline, the applications will be closing on the 15th of February. So first of all, make sure you apply before the deadline. Okay. Now, after the closure of applications, we will then begin the process of reviewing every single application. So we're going to read through every pitch deck that is submitted. And then basing on that review, there's going to be a team of people that will be reviewing those pitch decks and basically looking through the businesses. And once that is done, you should be able to hear back from us. Now, the time between closure to the time when the program actually starts is maybe about 2-3 weeks, right? So the actual cohort is going to start on the 6th of March. As of right now, that's the tentative starting date, okay? So between the 15th of February and the 6th of March, you will have heard back from us. You'll get a lot of emails after the closure that basically acknowledges that your applications are now being reviewed. After the review, you'll also get an email that lets you know whether you have moved through to the next step or not. And then after that, you'll get an email that lets you know that you have officially been admitted into the academy. And then further details on the starting date, what you need to do to prepare, and all of that will be shared with you as well. But right now, the starting date is the 6th of March. So you can expect a lot of communication from us before that date, between the 15th of Feb when the applications close and the 6th of March when the cohort begins. All the communications will happen between that time frame. I hope that gives you a sense of the timeline as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Robert. I think that's the end of the Q&A session. And so I think we can now get the closing remarks. Thank you so much for everyone for making the time to show up for this info session. I hope it has been helpful for you. I hope you're encouraged to apply for this big opportunity. I hope that your dreams remain valid regardless of whether you make it or not. And I hope that you're able to carry them through. But I really hope that you make it. For those of you that came in a bit late, we are sending through a recording soon after. And for everyone that has a friend who they know can benefit from this, please share the recording. Please disseminate the information. We know you care, so share. So this info session is brought to you by Rwazi. Rwazi is a market intelligence company working across the world to help businesses get on-ground data from the global south, South America, Asia, and Africa. So this gives us the opportunity to provide young people with data collection gigs on the ground where they are if you're interested in short-term data collection gigs, please feel free to join the Rwazi community. If you know anyone in your network who would be interested in that, please tell them about Rwazi, and definitely follow Rwazi, follow YSA on all the socials so that you can keep abreast with all the information. In case you don't make it at this point, you can make it next year. I'm sure there'll be another cohort. Reach out to the entrepreneurs that they have told us about and find out how they made it, what their journey has been like, and even network with each other. That is my encouragement in closing, and I'd like to hear from the YSA team, Robert and Rita, in closing as well.
Thank you so much, John. It's a quick one from me, and then I'll hand over to Rita to close us off. Just to say thank you to everyone that made it. Yes, indeed, we will be looking for about 300 entrepreneurs. Join us in this next cohort 2 of the YSA. So we're hoping that you can submit your applications, good applications, so you can be among those 300 entrepreneurs. The application deadline is the 15th of Feb. That is this coming week. So as you saw, the application is very, very short, takes about 7 to 15 minutes, really, once you have your pitch deck. So go ahead and apply, and we look forward to reviewing your application and hopefully having you in the program. So thank you, and thank you so much, Joanna, and your team as well for making this possible. We truly, truly appreciate it. Let me hand over to Rita to then close us off as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Robert. Many thanks on behalf of the YSAU, Joanna, and the rest of the Rwazi team for really opening this opportunity up to your community. We really look forward to having some of your community members in our second cohort to really just strengthen that relationship between the YSAU and Rwazi. But yes, good luck to everyone. I really encourage you to apply and to really take that next bold move for yourself and for your startup. So thank you very much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing and hearing more from you. Thank you.
Yeah, and in case you still have some questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, to Rita, to Robert, and those questions will be answered even after here. Yeah. In the emails that will come to you, you can reply to those, and Rita has shared the Hive Colab email that will directly receive your questions. Thank you so much. Please have a good rest of your day, everyone.